Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to do something what is traditional around this time of year, which is to have a good old wish list, is to sit there and go, what would we actually like to see in the next year from Games Workshop? Whether it is necessarily grounded in reality or not is a different thing entirely. I suppose it'd be better if it was, because then you'd have a decent expectation of some of it being true, but then that's not much of a wish list, is it? Things that, are likely is not the same as things that you actually really want. So I think let's just go full. Let's just go full wish list. Why not? First thing, let's be totally honest, for me personally would be Codex Emperor's Children. I would like Codex Emperor's Children a lot. I would like to see new Noise Marines. Hell, I would have liked to have seen just any of the new Chaos Space Marines painted up in Emperor's Children colours, but we didn't get any of that. Although, in a similar vein, we also didn't see them painted up in World Eaters either, which at the time I took to be a somewhat conspiracy theory-esque, admittedly, nod to, oh, maybe they are getting new stuff. Whether they are or whether they aren't doesn't change the fact that I really want them to. I would absolutely love the next God and Legion Codex to be Emperor's Children and Slaanesh, hand in hand, the same way Death Guard and Nurgle has been done, the same way Thousand Suns and Tzeentch has been done. I still think we are heading towards a codex for each of the Chaos Gods and their chosen legions, but it can't come quickly enough. It cannot come quickly enough. I would really, really like to see that actually happen in 2020. If we got World Eaters and Khorne instead, I mean, I wouldn't complain, I'll be honest. I wouldn't be like, oh, this sucks, this is terrible. At least someone's getting something. At least one of them is getting what I would like for both, which is better than neither of them getting anything. But in terms of absolute wish listing, it's got to be Slaanesh and it's got to be Emperor's Children. I mean, God, we had such a good push for Slaanesh stuff this year that it would round it out so nicely. Just so nicely, and it would make me so happy to have new Noise Marine sculpts, especially. Yeah, that's got to be top. Easily top of the list for me. Close behind that would be Traitor Guard. Now, that's a subject, actually, when we talked about it in the past, there's been quite a few people who are like, yeah, but we've already got Imperial Guard, how would Traitor Guard be different? Well, I mean, there'd be Traitor, which is a start, but it's not even necessarily a thing of wanting a brand new army list, new units, new vehicles, new everything. I don't necessarily want that. What I really want is just to have a significant chunk of Chaos's forces actually represented on the tabletop. Traitor Guard aren't like, there's like one Traitor Guardsman for every 1,000 Chaos Space Marines. They make up a huge amount of Chaos's power. And so not having them on the tabletop just feels weird. There's just like a glaring omission, a massive gap, where there should be something to fill that gap. Now, of course, if we did see Traitor Guard, I'd be really interested to see what they did to differentiate them. Differentiate? Differentiate. It is a word, I just can't talk. Them from standard Imperial Guard, from Loyalist Imperial Guard. But that in itself would be an interesting thing to see. And as I say, I just want that gap filled because, well, Chaos is so much more multifaceted than just like Chaos Space Marines and Demons. There's so much more going on. Traitor Guard would fill part of that gap, and let's be honest, the stuff that we've had for like Blackstone Fortress and stuff, that really does kind of, for the most part, fill out a lot of the things that we could see on the tabletop for Traitor Guard anyway. It's a combination of wish listing and thinking that it's got to happen at some point, right? We've got most of the sculpts already. Bit more variety, or just sticking them in a separate box, and surely we're there. It feels like we're right on the edge of that being a thing, and so, I mean, next year I'd like it to just become a thing. It's a similar thing in a way with Dark Mechanicus. I'd really like to see that on the tabletop as well. That I feel could be significantly different, but again, it's a big chunk of Chaos that we just don't have represented on the tabletop at all. It's just not really a thing, and it should be a thing because they exist. They're not like, again, it's not like a super rare thing. Oh, you hardly ever see Dark Mechanicus. Well, no, they're all over the place. Same as Chaos Space Marine, same as Traitor Guards. It's like, it's another gap that needs filling. Now, admittedly, so far, this is turning out to be very Chaos heavy. I will admit that. It's a very Chaos heavy wish list. But there is always, amongst all of this stuff, just the not even the underlying hope, the overlying hope that we do just get some significant updates in terms of Xenos stuff. There's still a vast amount of the Xenos line as a whole, and I'm counting everything, Orcs, Eldar, Dark Eldar, the lot, that is still in resin, for instance. It's still in Finecast. I don't want that. I want you guys to have access to good models that also are not at risk of being god-awful quality when you get them out of the box. I'd really like to just see Xenos as a whole just get more love and attention. I mean, it was genuinely fantastic seeing Dark Eldar and Eldar get updates to some old sculpts, and to have it done faithfully, and to have those models reworked and actually made fresh and made new. But I want to see more of that. You know, for all that we got, I've totally forgotten the name now. I've totally forgotten. It was Howling Banshees and Jane Czar and Drazar, but I've totally forgotten the name of the squad. It's not the Incubi. Was it the Incubi? It might have been the Incubi. Either way, the fact that we got those is great. But when you compare that to just the vast amount of stuff that we got for Primaris, for instance, it doesn't feel like that much. And I think it's because genuinely it's not that much. And I would like it to be more. I'd like for more of a focus on that side of things. I mean, if we're going for full wishlist material, I would like to see over the course of next year pretty much as much Finecast stuff as possible be replaced with new, updated models in plastic. Ones that aren't at risk of being god-awful quality when you take them out of the box. Ones that, you know, take the original look, the original feel, and this applies to a bunch of the Eldar range, a bunch of the Dark Eldar range. It would be nice to see those actually updated and brought in line with everything else, because by and large now, pretty much anything that you would want replaced or want updated in terms of Chaos and just normal Space Marines. I mean, normal Space Marines being replaced by Primaris units for the most part, but they are updates, even if Space Marines didn't really necessarily need updates. Chaos, you know, we have got a really nice chunk of new models. We have had aging stuff replaced with fresh upgrades. I just want to see that same treatment. I just want to see Xenos get that same love and actually have a bit of care and attention paid to them more than they have this year. I mean, I'm not complaining at the fact that they got something. The opposite. I would just always like to see them get more. I mean, those shelves behind me that I always can't actually show you properly because I've always moved the wrong way, they're full of Space Marines, they're full of Chaos, they're full of Knights. I know this. Just because I play that stuff and just because I paint that stuff and that's what I prefer to do, doesn't mean that I think no one else should get anything. Quite the opposite. If that shelf is anything to go by, the Space Marine line and the Chaos stuff is now very, very well supported, as if it wasn't already in the case of the Space Marine stuff. Xenos doesn't even come close to that, and they need more love. Just flat out more love is what I'd like to see. I don't even think there's anything specific. I think it's just a case of giving that side of the game the attention that they deserve, and the kind of care that, frankly, the people who play them deserve as well. Now, in terms of very specific characters, there's a couple of things that I'd like to see in 2020. Firstly, I would like to see a Loyalist primarch return before a Chaos one. At this point, Guilliman has gone up against Magnus and he's gone up against Mortarion, and he has survived both. If he goes up against Fulgrim or Angron and comes out of that miraculously unscathed, that is stretching the limits of my acceptance for it just being a case of, oh, he's just doing it right, he's lucky. No. I want to see another Loyalist primarch come back, and I would really like it to just be one that is very, very clear and obvious and not drag it out any further. And by that I mean just bring back either Lehman Russ or bring back Lionel Johnson. I don't care which. I really don't care. Either's fine. Either will do. I have no preference. But the lion is asleep under the rock thing, it's got a bit old. It's got a bit old at this point. It's definitely past its prime, that particular storyline, especially with the entire galaxy aflame, the Imperium apparently on the brink of a disaster and having to, accept reinforcements in the form of brand new types of Space Marine. Him still hitting the snooze button is kind of getting silly now. And Lehman Russ, you could just drop back in at any point, to be totally honest. I mean, the wolf time probably started about 30 seconds after you left and has been going on indefinitely since then, given everything the Space Wolves have gone through. So again, you can drop him in whenever. But those are two characters whereby there is a prophecy attached to one, where literally any point in the last however many thousand years could have been the point for him returning and it would have made sense. And you got the other one who's just asleep. Just stop those storylines now. Just progress them. Just move them along. It's fine. It's fine. We don't need to know that they're still out there doing absolutely shit all whilst things are burning to death around them. Just have them back. That would be nice. If they're going to bring back another demon primarch, before that, I would at least hope that we don't get a rehash. My wish list would be to bring a Loyalist primarch back first. If they're going to bring back a demon one, do it after that. If they have to bring back a demon one again before another Loyalist shows up, for the love of God, let's not have another Gilliman versus his brother scenario, because it's, again, that I feel is a storyline that has run its course. It's had its day. It has been done twice. It does not need to be done a third time, and it would be nice if we didn't have that same thing a third time. I would quite like something a little bit different if they did decide to go that route. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not like a massive list of stuff, really. For the most part, I've been pretty happy with what they've released this year. There's been a fair amount of Primaris stuff, but then there's also been a whole bunch of Chaos stuff as well. And I can't complain about the Chaos stuff was released. I mean, for God's sake, look at the Knight behind me. Look at it. Look at the Chaos Knight. It was so fucking good. That's pretty much... I guess if I was going to branch out into other systems, another mental army for Age of Sigmar. I don't know what it could be. I can't be that specific because I have no idea. I didn't think we'd have steampunk sky dwarves, but we do. I didn't think we'd have Ideneth Deepkin, but we have that as well. Like, I'd be happy with just them dropping something mad for Age of Sigmar, because every time they do drop something for Age of Sigmar, it tends to be, at the very least, really interesting and a bit weird. And that's a pretty good formula for me, personally. Oh, we had the Arcearch Bone Reapers as well, didn't we? Yeah, just more mad stuff for Age of Sigmar would be excellent. Even if it's just as someone looking at it from the outside, it just seems to get progressively more crazy, and I like that. We don't get a huge amount of that in 40k. There's too much establishment, there's too much kind of lore, there's too much what to expect in 40k. Age of Sigmar it feels fresher. It feels more like they're able to take risks and do things they otherwise wouldn't have done. They're able to just push the boat out and go, is this a bit crazy? Yes. Is there anything stopping us? No, not really. Okay, let's go. I like that. It's interesting seeing what they come up with that mindset. So, yeah, that would be fun. I bet there's going to be some mad stuff for Age of Sigmar anyway, but I would especially like to see what they come up with, because it's been pretty decent overall, in my opinion. So yeah, I guess that's it for the wish list, really. Not anything massively specific, just filling in the gaps for Chaos. Giving Xenos, as always, just more anything, more everything. Just more, please, would be nice. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Just don't give us another Demon Primarch before you bring back a Loyalist one. Please don't do that, please. Please, come on. Have the Lion wake up, for God's sake. His snooze button must be absolutely knackered by now. How does that alarm clock even function anymore? Just bring him back. It'd be fine. It'd be okay. It'd work. Having someone who's not like Gilliman have a bit of conflict might offset the fact that the Imperium is being saved left, right, and centre by the Primaris. Bring a bit of like inter-party politics almost into the situation. It'd be nice. Yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what your wish list is for next year in the comments down below. Is there anything you really, really want? Any like super specific thing that you are desperately hoping they'll do? Or is there anything outlandish that you probably don't think will actually happen, but you would like it if it did. Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description. If you want to click that, it'll take you to Element Games. If you buy something, I get something for sending you that way. 10% of anything you spend will go to charity. I've already donated this month. I guesstimated how much it would get this month and donated to a local women's shelter, which I'd done ahead of time because it's good for them to get the money before Christmas. So if that turns out to be more than what I guesstimated, then I'll obviously throw them some more. And if not, oh well. We still did a good thing, so it's fine. But yeah, you can do that if you like. I will leave that in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.